Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. And Mare, we are as corny as Kansas in August. And we are making baked corn. What do you think of that?
Sounds good.
So we have been really loving the corn. The sweet corn that's been coming in just really in the past couple of weeks. And how lucky are we, Mare, that we have a corn farm like a mile or two from the house. And every day they pick corn, and they have a little, what is it, like a wagon, I guess, that they put in the front of the farm. With a box with a hole in it, and you put your money in and you take your corn. And it's terrific. And so we've been eating corn on the cob with about every meal, haven't we, Mare?
Yes,
and
we have.
We're not sick of it yet, are we?
No.
Because you know what? The season is short, and next thing you know, we won't have any to enjoy, so we're taking advantage. But we are going to use some corn in a different way, Mare. And this is a baked corn dish. So first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees. We are pretty much there. Now, it calls for 2 cups of fresh corn. Well, I think 2 ears should just about do it. Don't you?
Yeah.
And see this little setup? You've seen this before, I know. So this is my corn catcher. And I've got a few stray corn silks. You know what a farmer told me once, Mare, about these corn silks?
What?
That there's one strand, one silk, for every ear of corn.
For every kernel of
Or every
corn.
thank you, every kernel of corn. Well, that's a lot of kernels, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of corn silk. All right, we're going to just come down like this and let our tube pan catch the corn and the yummy corn milk that comes from the cob here.
Is that pan also called an angel food pan?
Yes, it sure is. So, tube pan, angel food pan, whoops. And there we go. We got a little at the bottom. But it does overall a pretty good job, even though we always lose a few. Then I'll come back in and sort of crumple these up. We need 2 ears of corn, or we need 2 cups of corn. So maybe what I'll do, Mare, is let me see what we've got here in that first ear, because that was pretty big. Here's a 1 cup measure. I'm melting, by the way, 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to just take that off the heat because they're melted up. Let me get a little bowl. And so we wanted 2 cups of corn. So let's just see where we're at. Yeah, we love fresh corn. Pretty much any way one can make it, we'll take it, won't we, Mare?
Yes.
So, I would say let's call that a cup. And we're going to fall short a little bit. So, let me do half of this cob and see what that gets us in terms of corn. You know, the tomatoes are coming in. Everything's coming in. And we just love this time of year. Really right into fall. Because there's so much just wonderful stuff.
Then it will be Michigan apples in the fall.
That's right. And squash, right?
Right.
And other seasonal stuff. So, I think, Mare, this is going to get us to 2 cups of corn. And you want to let that milk go in there too, because that is so sweet and so good, and has that just that concentrated, wonderful corn flavor. Okay, so that was like an ear and a half, but big ears. If you had smaller ears of corn, then that's what you might need both ears, but that took care of it. You want 2 cups of corn. Okay. So we've got our 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Bring that camera over here, Mare. We can show our friends what's going on in the saucepan. So we've got the melted butter, and to the 2 tablespoons of melted butter, I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of just regular all-purpose flour. Okay? So you know what that is, Mare, right? When we mix flour and fat?
Makes a roux.
It makes a roux. And what we're going to do is we're going to just stir that in. Can you smell that almost nutty kind of aroma from the cooked flour? You want to give this a minute to cook when you're making a roux. And I'm going to start, I have a skillet over here, Mare, with a tablespoon of butter in it, and we're just going to make some quick buttered breadcrumbs that will go on the top of our baked corn. Okay, once the flour is really cooked through, again, give it a minute. I've got a cup of milk here, Mare. Use whole milk. 2% is okay for this, not skim. And with milk, whenever you're making a roux here with milk, you know how you get lumps if you sometimes pour too much milk in at one time. So put it in gradually. And we're going to keep this going and keep stirring, because that way all those flour molecules will break down, and we don't want a lumpy sauce, do we?
No, we don't.
We're essentially making a white sauce. Butter, flour, milk gives us a white sauce. And we'll put the rest of our milk in here, Mare. And we want to stir this and bring this up to a boil. Once it starts boiling, it's kind of at full thickening power. Yeah. Then what we've got, Mare, is once this is at its boil, we're going to add a little bit of salt, pepper, and sugar to the mix. You know, it's always amazing to me how, you know, corn sells for about 50 cents an ear. That's the going rate. And you think, wow, everything that goes into making that corn, right?
Yeah.
From the farmer's end, and here it's just 50 cents. It's kind of hard to believe. Okay, we're boiling, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take the heat down, and I'm going to add Marianne, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of sugar. In it goes. I'm going to sneeze in a second from that pepper. I don't know about you.
I hope you don't sneeze in the sauce.
Yeah, I'll turn my head. All right, now we've got our 2 cups of corn, Maren. We're going to put that in here. Okay. There we go. And let's stir that around. I think I'm going to switch tools now to a spatula. Okay, you got our mixture?
Yeah.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we've got to add some eggs to it. So here's the thing, Mare. I've got two eggs here, and we're going to give these eggs a beating. You know how sometimes they just need a good old beating, don't they?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the eggs have to go in there. But I don't want to just drop these eggs in there, and you know why, don't you?
Because they'll be scrambled eggs.
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to temper those eggs. I'm going to take a little bit of this hot corn mixture and gradually add it to the eggs. And that will bring up the temperature of the eggs just slightly. Okay? You see what I did there, right?
Right.
Then what we're going to do is now I'm okay with adding the eggs gradually back in to our corn mixture. And actually, as an insurance policy, because that burner still might be a little warm, we'll take it off the burner. Now, the oven is at 350 degrees. Get in there. And we're going to put this, Mare, in an 8x8 baking dish, which is greased. Now, I just sprayed it with nonstick cooking spray. You could butter it up if you wanted to add to the butteriness of it all. But, okay, I think our eggs are mixed in well. So, now we got our 8x8 pan here. Let's pour our corn mixture in here. It smells good already, doesn't it?
Yes.
Just something about that fresh corn. And all over the thumb, which is where we are in, Michigan's thumb, there's a lot of corn growers. And you often, and farmers just in general, but we grow a lot of corn up here. And one thing that I like to do is every once in a while we pass that corn stand, and it's kind of hard not to want to stop. So, Mare, I've had that tablespoon of butter, right, in this skillet. I've got 3/4 of a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now, if you wanted to use fresh breadcrumbs, you could. Knock yourself out. I'm going to just toss these around in the butter, and they're going to absorb every drop of that butter that's in the pan. But if you had a couple of slices, say, of day-old bread, or, you know, anymore, bread lasts more than a day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe 2-week-old bread. Back in the old days, bread was only good for a day. But now, most of the bread we buy, unless you buy it fresh at a bakery, hangs around a long time. Okay, so I think we've got our breadcrumbs all absorbed. Now we're going to sprinkle the top of this with these breadcrumbs, buttered breadcrumbs. Those right on top. Okay, there we are. We're going to put this in the oven for about 35 minutes or until the corn mixture is just set and firm, okay? And then we'll come on back. We're making baked corn on today's Cavalcade of food. Okay, honey, our timer went off at 35 minutes. And let's see. That looks... I'm going to turn the oven off here. Yeah, it's set. It's firm. Oh, wow. Look at that, Mare. So, first impression, it's beautiful. A nice browned, crunchy top, but let's talk about what we're smelling right now. You smell the corn a little bit, but you know what else I'm getting? Are you? That almost a custard smell, because we've got milk and eggs. I don't know if that's coming through for you or not.
I don't think my sniffer is as good as yours.
Maybe not. But I'm getting that smell. And you know, while this was baking and I was doing the dishes, I was thinking, you know, you could season this in so many ways too, Marianne. You could add a little garlic if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. You could add a little cayenne pepper if you wanted to give it a little, you know, a little heat. Yeah. We just use salt and pepper and sugar, of course, but yeah, you could flavor this in a lot of different ways. It's obviously too hot right now to really eat, so we're going to just let it rest on the cooling rack for a bit, and then we, of course, want to have it warm. So we'll come back and dig into this delicious baked corn. Well, sis, what do we think? Time to dig in?
Sure.
Come on down here and let's get into this. I'm going to start with this corner here. I'm going to cut. Oh, it came out nice. So let's see if we can show our friends. There's the top, which we've seen. There's the bottom. Look at that. Remember I said custard?
Yeah.
Oop. But I lost some of my crunchies. So, anyways, okay. Let's... Oh, the corn is coming through loud and clear. But, of course, you have the crunch from the breadcrumbs. And, The corn is surrounded by a light, fluffy custard. See that? I don't know how. Is that coming through, honey?
Yeah.
Yep. This is delicious. Yum. Mm-mm. A nice way to serve corn. You know, I guess if you didn't have fresh corn, you could use thawed frozen corn instead. Again, you could heat it up with a little cayenne if you wanted to put a dash of that in there. You could put some other fresh herbs in here in the mix if you wanted to. But
you could put some chopped jalapenos in there.
Yeah. Oh, we like the spice.
Yeah. And maybe put some cheese in it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Well, Sister's got all kinds of ideas. So, yes, you could do a lot of variations on this. Oh, there, it's all gone. How's that? So, if you don't have to be a Midwesterner like us to be a fan of fresh corn, summer corn, sweet corn. And if you are, this is a great way to use it up and try something different and new, baked corn. Recipe is in the description below the video. We do have a website. You know what it's called, Mary?
Cavalcadefood.com.
There it is, cavalcadefood.com. And I'll thank my kid sister for working that camera today.
You're welcome.
And we'll thank our food friends, Mary Ann, for spending some time with us as we made this wonderful baked corn with our fresh, local, farm-raised corn here in Croswell, Michigan. So hope everybody's summer has been great. It flew by. I cannot believe summer is already coming up to fall. Amazing to me, but this is our cycle of life here, and so I hope everyone had a great summer. We sure did, and we will look forward to seeing you again back here on Cavalcade of Food real soon. Until then, take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.